With the side cover and hand wheel removed, we can now see all the components on this side of the machine. So I'll point these out to you and tell you what they do. This is the solid state relay right here. This controls the on-off of the heater. So when you see this flashing, that means it's heating. If you don't see any lights flashing on that, that means it's not calling for heat. Underneath that is the EMI filter, and this takes out any dirty noise that comes in from electrical lines, which can happen periodically in a lot of areas. Next to that are the two transformers that run the voltage for all of the power through the circuit boards. This board is the heat control board, and on top of that, this is the board that controls the photo safety eyes. This is the receiver photo eye here. So it has a counter part over on the other side that shoots the beam across. This collects it and then sends the signal back and tells the machine if there's somebody gets a finger or a board or anything like that in the way, that it'll shut the machine off so you don't get hurt. Here is the heat rod that goes through the machine, and to access that, these will unscrew this little porcelain cap, and then that will pop off, and you can see it's just a simple eye connector that holds the wire in place. There's a thermal protector here that's called a TCO, thermal cutoff, and if a machine, for whatever reason, if it gets too hot, this will open up and it'll shut the heat off so it can't go into an overshoot condition and cause damage to the roller. The last thing on this side is the main circuit breaker inside the unit. So if you get a short anywhere through the system, this will pop and shut off. And if you see that, then just reset it. Make sure that you don't see any damage to the wires or anything like that in the machine. So we'll go around to the other side of the machine now, and I'll show you what's in here. On this side of the machine, you'll notice that we have the other side of the connector for the heat rod that goes through the machine. It comes off the same way as the other side. This is the emitter for the photo safety eye, and this is the one that actually shoots the beam over to the other side. Below that is your speed control board. And this determines how the voltage goes to the motor when you turn the potentiometer on the control panel. Next to that over here is the motor start capacitor, and then underneath is the motor itself. If for any reason you ever have to change a motor, you'll get the capacitor with the new motor. Change them both out together. They go through this relay terminal here, but just make sure that you do take care of both of them at the same time. Now the other thing you're going to notice over here is these are all your drive chains. You want to make sure they're tight, but not too tight. You want to have a little bit of slack in them. So this is okay. If you've got excess slack in that, they'll start jumping on the sprockets and you'll get jerking motion in the rollers, or you'll get jerking motion in the rewind assembly. So again, it's okay to have this much slack in there, that's fine, okay? But you don't want to have these overly tightened, because if you do, then you'll start wearing stuff out at a quicker rate.